For a film to be good, it has to gain its viewers' interest. It doesn't matter if the film is about a talking fish, time traveling murder robots, or a guy's journey from rags to riches. As long as the filmmaking is great, a movie with as silly plot as a guy avenging his dead dog can actually lead to a $1 billion franchise. A good film really makes you feel for the characters. It makes you invest in their journey, and by the end of the film, you feel for the protagonist or even the antagonist of the film. The themes, the subtext, the social commentary, the deeper meaning, it's the stuff that people will find when they dig deeper into the movie. But not every film has to be made or watched with the intention of having a deeper meaning. This statement does not aim to discredit any good work that the director or the writer has done on the film. Rather, what it means is that the film should be interesting at face value so that people can actually enjoy it and be interested enough to dig deeper into its meaning. I watched The Shining in the summer of 2021. It was the first Stanley Kubrick film that I had watched, and before that, all I had heard about Stanley Kubrick was how big of a genius he was. I hadn't read the book either, but I was aware that Stephen King does have a twisted mind and a great skill of storytelling. Basically, everything was in the favor of the film. A genius director, a great writer, and the film is considered one of the greatest horror movies of all time. But as I was watching it, I actually fell asleep. It was long, drawn out, boring, and honestly not scary at all. Now, there are several reasons behind my response to this certified classic, and in this video, I will be discussing those. Starting with number 1. The Shining came out in the year 1980, and I'm pretty sure the world hadn't seen anything that revolutionary before that. And for the general movie going audience of the 1980, it was peak horror. But I grew up in an era of filmmaking where technology met peak creativity. And I had already seen a lot of gore, action, violence, horror, and movies as well as TV shows with deeper psychological meanings. Hence, The Shining did not stand out to me as something very good or interesting. I can understand the fact that Shining was revolutionary and the greatest horror movie for its time, but calling it the greatest horror movie ever made just because everyone else does that, it does not sit right with me. So I don't think Shining is that great of a horror movie in today's standards. I guess the fact that everything was in the film's favor made me expect too much out of it, and eventually the film got buried under the weight of my expectations from it. I will not be drawing comparisons with the book because I had not actually read the book before watching the film, so I had no preconceived notion about what the character should be like. Even if I don't take the book into consideration, the character of Jack Torrance, even though it was a chilling performance by Jack Nicholson, the character did not have enough substance for me to actually understand or care about his descent into madness. All I actually know about him in the film is that he is a frustrated writer and an alcoholic. What is his relationship with his wife? What's his relationship with his son? I don't know. Those things are not clearly explored in that film. More on that later. There are only three main characters in the film, and I did not understand or care about any of them. The Shining is supposed to be a slow burn that takes its time to build the suspense. But I found that build up of suspense to be so slow that I actually fell asleep. I'm not counting it as the film's fault, but having seen better suspense build up in both horror and non horror movies, The Shining really failed to hook me in. Every breakdown or analysis you watch of this film on YouTube, the creator tells you how great this film is because of its themes. Oh, maybe it's about Apollo 11, maybe it's about the Holocaust. Okay, like I said in the intro of this video, Easter eggs, philosophies, deeper meanings should be an add on bonus for the audience when they have already engaged with a highly entertaining film. But everyone who praises The Shining for its themes and philosophies gets so indulged in the deeper meaning and subtext that they fail to realize that on the surface level, as a film, it's pretty fucking boring. Like I said earlier, his relationship with his wife and son is never clarified in the film. It's implied that he sexually abused Danny. I love the movies that actually encourage the audience to get involved in it and solve things for themselves. But if a film makes me do everything, makes me understand everything on my own, I'll just write my own film. I don't want to watch a film in which nothing is clear to me and everything is just implied. Why did Jack go insane? What happened to him? What's in the hotel? I don't fucking know. These questions are never answered in the film. I read the book after watching the film, and definitely it's one of my favorite books of all time now. The book has the liberty of diving deep into character motivations, backstories, and psyche, and actually show us how the hotel took over Jack Torrance with the voices in his head and the trauma from his past. These details about Jack Torrance actually make this book a really great read. Unfortunately, the movie does not have the privilege of extracting hours of investment from the audience. But I don't think even if the film was a show or maybe a running series, it would have been any different because the understanding and interpretation of the director of the film does not align with the writer of the book. It's fine, but I still think Shining is not that great.